Imagine waking up tomorrow with every piece of information you've ever learned erased, except one thing, your ability to teach yourself. Would you still be able to build a successful life? Most people would answer no, but history suggests the opposite. The people who change industries, create opportunities, and stay ahead aren't necessarily the ones with the most degrees. They're the ones who never stop learning. Because in a world that's changing faster every year, the greatest advantage isn't what you already know. It's how quickly you can learn what comes next. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why self-education may be the single most valuable investment you'll ever make. For most of our lives, we're taught that education has a finish line. Go to school, graduate, go to job, then work. Somewhere along the way, learning quietly becomes optional. Books gather dust, curiosity fades, questions become routines. And before we realize it, we've stopped growing. Not because we lack potential, but because we've mistaken information for education. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The world doesn't reward what you learned 10 years ago. It rewards how fast you can adapt today. Technology evolves, industries transform, skills become outdated, entire careers disappear, while new ones emerge almost overnight. Yet millions of people continue living with yesterday's knowledge, hoping tomorrow will somehow reward them. It rarely does. The people who thrive aren't always the smartest. They're the most adaptable. They understand something many people never realize. Learning isn't preparation for life. Learning is life. Every new skill compounds. Every book changes perspective. Every conversation expands understanding. Every mistake becomes a lesson, if you're willing to study it. Think about it. No one teaches you how to become emotionally resilient. No class perfectly prepares you for financial decisions. No diploma guarantees confidence. The most important lessons often begin after formal education ends. And that's exactly where self-education begins. Curiosity loop. But if self-education is so powerful, why do so many intelligent people stop learning once school ends? The answer has less to do with intelligence than you might think. Picture two friends graduating on the same day. They have similar grades, similar opportunities, similar dreams. At first, their lives look almost identical. The first friend believes graduation marks the end of learning. They settle into routines, work, entertainment, sleep, repeat. Books become decorations. Podcasts become background noise. Curiosity slowly disappears beneath convenience. The second friend sees graduation differently, not as an ending, but as permission. Every week they read, they ask questions, they take online courses, they listen to experts during long drives, they write notes, reflect, experiment, fail, improve. At first, nothing seems different. Weeks pass, months pass, even a year passes. From the outside, both lives appear almost the same, but something invisible is happening. Knowledge is compounding. Small lessons connect with older ones. Ideas begin forming patterns. Confidence quietly grows. Better questions lead to better decisions. Better decisions create better opportunities. 5 years later, the difference is impossible to ignore. The gap didn't appear overnight. It was built one page, one podcast, one lesson, one habit at a time. Success rarely arrives through one dramatic breakthrough. More often, it arrives disguised as ordinary consistency. Most people underestimate what 1 hour of focused learning can become after 1,000 days. Imagine reading just 20 pages each day. It doesn't feel extraordinary. But over a year, thousands of pages, dozens of books, hundreds of new ideas, a completely different way of thinking. The greatest transformation often feels invisible while it's happening. That's why many people quit too early. They expect immediate results from habits designed to create long-term change. But growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silent, like roots growing beneath the ground before anyone sees the tree. Curiosity loop. If small daily learning habits are so powerful, what actually happens inside your brain when you keep challenging it? The answer is more fascinating than most people realize. That's why beginners struggle. Their brains haven't built enough pathways yet. Experts don't always think faster. They recognize patterns more quickly because they've spent years expanding their mental library. Think of your brain like a forest. The first time you walk through it, every step is difficult. Branches block your path. The ground is uneven. Progress is slow. But each time you walk the same route, The trail becomes clearer. Eventually, what once felt impossible becomes effortless. Learning works the same way. Every book adds another trail. Every conversation opens another direction. Every challenge strengthens another pathway. This is one reason curiosity matters so much. Curiosity transforms learning from obligation into exploration. Instead of asking, "Do I have to learn this?" you begin asking, "What might this teach me?" That single shift changes everything. Because people who stay curious don't see problems as walls. They see them as puzzles, and puzzles invite solutions. Research in cognitive psychology has consistently shown that active learning, such as retrieving information from memory, practicing new skills, and reflecting on what you've learned, helps strengthen long-term understanding far more effectively than simply rereading material. In other words, learning isn't about consuming more information. It's about engaging with it. That's why taking notes, teaching others, applying ideas, and asking questions often produce deeper understanding than passive reading alone. Here's another overlooked truth. Information is everywhere. Here's the paradox of the modern world. Never before has knowledge been so accessible, yet never before have so many people felt so overwhelmed. We live in an age where a university lecture, a best-selling author's insights, or a world-class expert's advice is only a few clicks away. But access to information isn't the same as education. Many people mistake consuming content for making progress. They watch another motivational video, save another article, bookmark another course, download another app, and for a brief moment, it feels like they're moving forward. But nothing changes. Why? Because collecting knowledge is not the same as applying it. Think of it like owning a fully equipped gym. Having the equipment doesn't make you stronger. Using it consistently does. The same is true for your mind. Books on your shelf don't change your life. Highlighted notes don't change your life. Downloaded PDFs don't change your life. Only practiced knowledge becomes wisdom. There's another trap that's even more dangerous. Comparison. You see someone who seems smarter, more successful, more accomplished, and suddenly your own progress feels insignificant. But every expert you admire once stood exactly where you are now. Confused, inexperienced, unsure. The difference wasn't talent. It was consistency. Every chapter they read, every question they asked, every mistake they reflected on. Those small moments built the person you now admire. So, stop measuring your beginning against someone else's 10th year. Measure yourself against who you were yesterday, because real education isn't a race against others. It's a lifelong conversation with your future self. Curiosity loop. If self-education is built through consistency, what does that actually look like day to day? Let's build a simple framework you can begin using today. Step 1. Become intentionally curious. Curiosity doesn't happen by accident. Train yourself to ask better questions. Instead of asking, "What do I want to watch?" ask, "What do I want to understand?" Replace passive scrolling with active exploration. One powerful question each day can change the direction of your thinking. Step 2. Read to think, not to finish. Reading isn't about counting books. It's about changing perspectives. When you finish a chapter, pause. Ask yourself, what idea challenged me? What can I apply today? Even one practical insight is worth more than an entire book you've already forgotten. Knowledge grows when it is reflected upon. Step 3. Learn across disciplines. The world's biggest breakthroughs often happen when ideas from different fields collide. Study psychology, history, economics, communication, biology, technology, leadership, creativity. The wider your perspective, the better your decisions become. Because life doesn't separate problems into school subjects. Everything is connected. Griet. Step 4. Teach what you learn. One of the fastest ways to deepen understanding is to explain it. Teach a friend. Write a journal. Create a video. Discuss ideas with coworkers. Teaching forces your brain to organize information clearly. If you can't explain it simply, you probably don't understand it deeply enough. Step 5. Build a learning system. Don't rely on motivation. Build routines. 20 focused minutes every day beats 4 distracted hours once a month. Create a learning hour. Keep a notebook. Track questions instead of just answers. Consistency beats intensity, always. Step 6. Learn through action. Reading about confidence doesn't create confidence. Speaking does. Reading about business doesn't build a business. Starting does. Reading about fitness doesn't build strength. Training does. Action transforms information into experience. Experience transforms information into wisdom. Step 7. Protect your attention. Your attention is your greatest educational asset. Every unnecessary notification steals a piece of your focus. Every distraction interrupts deep thinking. Create moments where your mind can actually concentrate, because deep learning requires deep attention, and deep attention is becoming increasingly rare. Those who protect it gain an advantage that grows every year. Ritual Timesdias mater I teprich wiversions, les mots, britzurai, biturai, read becca peritai esker. Ritual as situke lideki waiting for the perfect time. The perfect course, the perfect opportunity, the perfect motivation. 5 years pass. Life looks almost the same. The dreams are still there, but so are the excuses. Now imagine another version. This version reads 1 chapter today, learns 1 new skill this month, asks 1 better question every morning, keeps a notebook, reflects before sleeping, stays curious when others become comfortable. At first, nobody notices. Not your friends, not your coworkers, not even you. But then something changes. Your conversations become richer. It signs your confidence becomes quieter, but stronger. You begin solving problems others avoid. Opportunities appear because your thinking has evolved. People call it luck. They call it talent. They call it intelligence. But you know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was thousands of invisible moments spent becoming someone your future self could be proud of. Self-education doesn't just give you information. It gives you options. It expands the way you see the world. And once your perspective changes, your entire life begins to change with it. The world will never stop changing. Technology will evolve. Careers will shift. Industries will rise and disappear. But one skill will always remain valuable: the ability to learn. Nobody can take that from you. Not a recession. Not artificial intelligence. Not competition. Because when you know how to educate yourself, you never stop growing. And when you never stop growing, you never stop creating new possibilities. Remember this: a degree may open a door, but self-education teaches you how to build your own. The person you become tomorrow is shaped by what you choose to learn today. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Open the book. Ask the question. Take the course. Practice the skill. Start today. Because the greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in the stock market. It isn't in a business. It isn't even in your career. It's in your own mind. If this video changed the way you think about learning, don't let the momentum stop here. The next step isn't just learning more, it's learning how to think better, build stronger habits, and create lasting discipline. Watch the next video, where we'll explore how your daily habits quietly shape every result in your life. Because once you understand how learning and habits work together, you'll have a framework for continuous growth that lasts for years. Until then, keep asking questions, keep staying curious, and never stop educating yourself.